Hi everyone, here I am live with you again. As I posted earlier, I wanted to talk to you about something that I run into a lot, and I know a lot of people run into it as well. And I hear this from so many people. It's, the whole story of why do these bad things happen to me all the time, and kind of this, why me story, and why are all these other people are so happy and they're getting all these amazing things happen to them, and yet, here I am and all these bad things happen to me all the time. So we're going to get to that in a moment. I just wanted to let everybody know that for I know it's Friday today, so going into next week, I have 5 free empowerment sessions that I'm giving away. So 5 for the next week only. So definitely take advantage of this opportunity. If you feel like what I'm saying here in these lives is something that you're interested in and you want to go a little deeper into it and see what's going on and how can I help you really live the life that you truly want and get all the other things and blocks out of the way. So I'll be posting a link for that at the end of the live in the comment section, so you can use that to schedule your free call. So yeah, today, what are we talking about? We're talking about this whole idea of the story that a lot of us tell ourselves, and I know I used to do this, and I still get caught up in it once in a while, but now it's so quick and I notice it, and I can sort of swipe right out of it very quickly. Just want to say hi to a few people. I see that Jess is on, Jody, Tanya, everybody, thank you so much for being here live with me. Yeah, so let's talk about that, this whole why do bad things happen to me all the time? Well, there's 2 things. So first of all, kind of taking the neuroscience, neurology approach to it, the brain that we have can only compute so much information at any given time. So what does that mean? So if we look at the world around us, especially nowadays, there's so many different things constantly thrown at our neurology. And that means, pop-ups all the time, different sounds, different visuals. You can't watch TV without having like 50 different things happening on the screen all at the same time. You have the news strip at the top or the bottom, and then this pops up, and then a commercial pops up. Like even with YouTube and everything online, same thing. You're watching one video, then you have like 3 different things popping up at the same time. So we're constantly in overload. And so kind of scientifically speaking, there's about 4 billion bits of information coming at our neurology every given moment. So again, this is things we see, this is the sounds, this is different feelings that we're feeling, in the environment, like the temperature, all of that, things we're hearing, things, maybe there's some taste or smell involved. Let's say if you're out for dinner or something like that. So there's so much stuff coming at our neurology at every given moment. So that 4 million bits of information at any given second. Now, out of that 4 million, we can only actually absorb 126. And so I wanted to address this number today because some of you may have seen a post from a client that I worked with recently, and she sent me this cute little testimonial saying like, oh my God, the things that happen when you shift your 126. I actually wanted to talk about what is this 126. So 126 is 126 bits of information that we actually take in out of the 4 million or 4 billion or whatever it is. The number's always changing because there's more and more advances in neuroscience and this study around consciousness and how the brain operates. So that massive number that's constantly being bombarded at us, we only absorb 126. So if you imagine a giant, really strong, powerful waterfall, and you are coming up to that waterfall with a tiny little, like the bottle cap of a plastic water bottle, and you kind of try to stick that little bottle cap under the waterfall, that's all you get. That's the only little bit that you can actually get. You can't take in the entire waterfall because it is going to essentially overwhelm you to a point where you can't function. If you have so much information coming at our neurology, our unconscious mind, our brain does exactly what it's meant to do, and it filters out a lot of stuff. Otherwise, we're just going to go insane. It's too much. We can't take everything in all at once. We can only take 126 in. And the 126 is like plus or minus, 7 or so chunks, because it basically, that's when we are at our, the best state, when we're really sharp and, we've slept well and we're awake and we're in this good, high energy mode. And so we're taking in 126. So most of the time, especially if you are experiencing feelings like depression and you're in a depressed state and more like lower energy states, then it's even less than 126. So again, what happens is the 4 million bits of information is coming at you, and out of those you are taking, 126 or less. And again, there's 4 million. You're only taking 126. So which 126 do you choose? It's like that little bottle cap that you're sticking under the waterfall. Where in the waterfall are you sticking it? Kind of using that as a metaphor. Are you sticking it where the dirty water's running off the rocks and you're catching that? Or are you putting it kind of more in the middle where it's all fresh, or maybe, some other stuff falling into the waterfall? So I'm using that as an example, as a metaphor, but really that's what we do in life all the time. There is all of this out there, 4 million bits of information, including the bad and the, or the bad and the good, and, the happy and the sad, and all these different things. And we choose what we actually absorb. Our unconscious mind deletes the rest of the information. It'll group and generalize some of the information, it'll delete the rest of it, and it'll distort a lot of the information as well. So that, again, our mind can actually process all of this information and we can function. So we can go on about life and make certain decisions and, act a certain way and behave in certain ways and experience certain emotions that don't overwhelm us to a point of killing us. So that 126 is completely up to you. You choose what from that 4 million bits. Hi, Brandy. You choose out of that 4 million bits of information that's coming at you at every given second. You choose, what do you actually absorb? And so again, people who are more depressed or in a depressed state, and they have the negative thinking running through their mind and all these things telling them that, maybe you're not good enough, or the world hates me, I don't have anybody, I'm always alone, all this kind of stuff. If that's what you're thinking, if that's the sort of like that filter that you put on in front of your eyes when you're looking at the world, when you're looking at that 4 million bits of information, you're scanning to see the bad stuff, because that's what your mind is telling you to look for. If you have all that junk in your mind, then that's what you're going to be looking for. That's the filter that you're looking at the world through, and you're only seeing that kind of stuff. So the people who are happier, more positive. And I remember when I was battling depression, and I remember I would look at these people and I would go, oh my God, they are so happy. It almost made me resent them and made me feel like, why are they so happy? And I'm always miserable and I can't be happy. And look at these amazing things that are happening to all these other people. But then here I am with all this pain and all this stuff happening to me. Again, what's wrong with me? Why am I not good enough? And so all of that was going through my mind. So of course, the world was showing me more of that. My unconscious mind was picking up more of those negative things. It is only, hi Rosa, it is only when I did the work that I now help others do. And it's like removing that filter, cleaning it up, and putting on a new set of eyes, really. And so a lot of my clients, including the one that you saw that I posted on my Facebook recently, say that the world starts to look different because you remove that negative programming that's running in the back of your mind that's telling you that things are shitty, that you're not good enough, that the world is cruel, that depression can't be cured, and all this other bullshit that we hear all the time. And you're putting it out into the world and you're getting more of it back because, perception is projection. So we perceive what we project out there, and we also interpret the world through our own perception. This is why no two people can ever have the same perception. You can have two people experience the exact same event and each of them walk away with completely different memories and different perceptions of what actually happened. So same thing here. It's all about the program that we have in our mind. Are we out there looking for positive things, or are we constantly looking for what's bad, for what's negative, for what's not working? I remember when I shifted my mindset, hanging out with some people, I won't get specifically into who exactly, but I remember hanging out with some people and they would whine and complain like, oh, look at this and this happened, and like, oh my God, you know, we'll go somewhere like this table is just dirty and there's all stuff all over the place and like all this negative complaining. And I remember like in that moment kind of taking a little like a step back and going, wow, they're really not seeing all the positive. And I used to be like that. I used to see only the negative. I used to only complain about everything that's not right. And I would look back and kind of expand my vision a little bit and go like, oh my God, there's so many beautiful things around and they're focusing on this one little thing that's not going right. And to them, it's like, that's it, that's all that exists. And everything else, again, gets deleted because your mind can't absorb everything. So my advice for you guys for today that I'm sharing with you is keep that in mind. 4 million bits of information, you only take in about 126 on a good day. So choose, what are you paying attention to? Every time that you kind of get in that mindset of, you know, everything's bad and you start complaining about yourself and how you're not good enough and things are happening to you and like only the bad stuff is happening to you and, you know, why me, that whole thing, pay attention and look around, because I know it's challenging, and this is why I do the work that I do. And I spoke about it in another video, like just shifting your mind into thinking positive. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't happen that easily. You need to go inside into your mind and actually remove that negative program that created that in the first place. And that's where I come in. I work with the unconscious mind. I know how to get into there. I know how to find that first seed, that root event or that root cause of what happened that created all of this negative programming and negative thinking in your mind. So it's like removing that record player from your mind, removing that track, that song, that self-talk that you've been running all along, and erasing it and basically giving you a blank slate to create a new story, a more positive story. Like I said, a lot of my clients, after they do this work, they go out to the same job, they walk the same street, they drive the same car, they live in the same house, and all of a sudden everything looks different to them. The colors look brighter. I remember this is what happened to me, you know, after I did the release work. All of a sudden I'm walking down the street and I'm paying attention to the sky and how beautiful the colors were around sunset. I'm like, I have never paid attention to that before. But does that mean it wasn't there? It was there all the time. I never paid attention to it. I always chose to have my head down and think about how everything sucks and how horrible my life is and how miserable I am. And when I remove that program and I clean that part up in my mind, all of a sudden, you know, there's this breath of fresh air. There's this space to now fill it with something more positive. And next thing I know, I'm noticing other things that I wasn't noticing before, like the colors in the sky during sunset or flowers or, you know, things like that. And I'm like, oh my God, there's actually so much beauty in this world. And we are constantly choosing to either see it or delete it from our minds. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. It's scientific. If you're interested in this whole concept a little bit more of the 4 million bits of information and the 126 that we take in, it comes from the book called Flow. I can give you more information if you're interested in that. If you reach out to me personally, I can share the resource, the book title exactly. But anyway, this is what I want to talk to you about. When you find yourself in that state of everything is bad and like, why are these bad things happening to me all the time? Remember that you're taking in that 126 and you're only taking in the negative. So there's a whole lot of positive around you. You just need to make the decision to see that And again, going back to what I was saying earlier and what I was talking about in a previous Facebook Live that I did, is it's not just that simple to just shift your mind and say, okay, I'm just going to be thinking positive from now on. There's definitely work to be done on an unconscious level, subconscious level, going into what created that negative program in the first place. You can watch another video that I have. It's posted on my Facebook. It's posted on my YouTube. You can look it up when I talked about why just thinking positive is not, it's not enough to help you shift out of a negative state. There is other things that need to take place and happen. So again, thank you guys so much. Hi, Rosa, Marina, Sarah. Thank you everybody for joining me live today. Those of you watching after the recording, or even those of you who are here with me right now, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if there's anything you want to say or share or ask, definitely leave me a comment. I'm going to be keeping an eye on it, and I always interact with everybody that comments on my Facebook Lives and anything at all. So definitely go ahead, let me know if there's any questions. Again, I want to remind everybody that from now for the next week, I have 5 free empowerment sessions that I'm giving away. These are sessions where we talk about what is going on, where are you now, what's the problem, what are the issues that you're experiencing, and I share with you more about what I do and how I can help you change that in your life, essentially. So removing all that negative programming, all that negative stuff that's causing you to only see the negative 126 in your life. We can talk more about that. So I'm going to be posting a link underneath the video, and you guys can definitely check that out. Make sure you take advantage of it, and I'm looking forward to hearing from a lot of you in the comment section, or send me a private message as well. All right, Rosa, we'll see you later. Thank you so much for joining, and again, if there's anybody that wants to share anything, go ahead and do that now. I'll address any questions, any comments. If not, then yeah, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to let this video go onto my Facebook so you guys can rewatch it again and share it with others. Please share it, please comment. If you know anyone who listening to this and you're going, oh, this would be really great for someone else to, a friend of yours or someone else to hear this and know this information, definitely share it with them. Let them know that I have these 5 free sessions that I'm giving away this week and starting the end of this week and next week. Definitely make sure they take advantage of it, because ask yourself, how much longer do you want to live in this space where you are only seeing the negative things? How much longer do you want to be a victim of what's happening to you? And at what point are you finally ready to step into choosing the 126 that you're going to see, and actually start allowing some more positive things into your life instead of constantly focusing on the negative? So thanks, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with me, for those of you who were. Looking forward to everybody's comments, and we'll see you very soon.